Hi everyone, I'm Jagruti Bista, lead Africa programs at Startup Réseau, and today I have with me Irene Kiwia, an entrepreneur and a business leader who has worn multiple hats over the years. Hello Irene, how are you?
I am awesome. I'm so excited to be on this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Irene, for your time. So actually, I'm amazed at the multiple hats that you wear: a CEO, a board member, representation on non-government bodies, and the list is endless. How was it growing up as Irene? What was your first tryst with entrepreneurship?
Wow. So growing up as me was quite interesting because I spent a lot of time in my mind, right? Being creative and being imaginative and creating and imagining a world that, I can live in. Yeah. So because I had a difficult childhood, meaning I was raised by a stepmother who was not very nice, I needed to find peace, and I could find that peace within me, creating an imaginary world where I was a hero going around the world and saving lives and all of that. So when I graduated from university, I had already imagined a world where I wanted to be actively participating in creating impact in my country, on the continent, and across the world. So I employed myself from day one. When 90% of the people I graduated with from university went on to seek for employment, I started my company. So I was very young, I was 24, and as CEO of a PR and media company that I launched then. Nobody understood what I was doing because at that time, entrepreneurship was not a big deal as it is now. So it took quite a number of years for my friends and family to truly understand, oh, so you actually have created a company where you're able to earn an income and employ others. Because at the beginning, I just looked like a mad woman. But so that's how I started my journey in entrepreneurship.
Wow, Irene, that's spectacular to learn more about your journey and where you started so young and today where you are, inspiring other women out there, other people out there. And you rightly said, you were creating imaginations and today your imaginations are creating impacts. So Irene, moving on to my next question, the private sector has a massive role to play in driving economic growth. At the same time, it has to be a dedicated effort towards making an impact on the society and improving livelihoods. In your role with the Africa list, I'm curious to know what the representation looked like, and from a gender equity perspective, also, how do you think a woman's voice can be different and more effective in collective decision making in such think tanks?
Wow, that's a big question, right? So I have been a member of so many different networks, from women networks to private sector networks, and most of these initiatives were all geared towards creating an equitable platform for either women, young people, and entrepreneurs to interact, network, and have a uniform voice. I think the private sector has a massive role to play. But the challenge today is not just the private sector. It's how do we get women, how do we get young people? And when I talk about young people, I also am talking about SMEs, and young businesses and startups into these conversations. Because what we have done really well is create networks for the private sector. But most of the companies or the participants in these platforms are corporate organizations and big corporations that, are already doing so well. So the challenge is how do we get young businesses? How do we get startups? How do we get women into these conversations? So for me, I always believe, in leading by example. When you don't get a seat on the table, create your own table, right? So I am excited to see that a lot of young people and a lot of women, are coming together to create those tables so that they can have those discussions. But we cannot function and effectively evolve as a continent in isolation. So there has to be diversity in these platforms and in these conversations. So how do we get governments on the table? How do we get the different policymakers and regulators on the table? How do we get investors, funders, looking at at 360 representation in these discussions? But the building blocks are there, but the challenge is how do we collaborate, so that we can all effect change in a big way. And the role of women cannot be understated, right? Today, we all know, research has shown it, it's shown us that, when you empower women, you empower communities. And if you want to create impact, whether it's commercial impact or social impact, women have to be at the decision-making table. Women have to be at implementing positions, and I am doing that actively, through my work in technology, where I am saying, if we cannot be left out of the fourth industrial revolution, which is the technology revolution, how do we get more women to build products, right? Which is where decisions are made. Because when people are designing technology products, are they thinking about women? How many women are there? Are we thinking about women in terms of the use case? Are we thinking about women in terms of the impact that solution is going to have? That is actually what drove me towards becoming a tech entrepreneur, and not just a normal tech entrepreneur, but a tech entrepreneur that build other tech entrepreneurs. And my mission is to ensure that women are at the table of building technology solutions. Women are at the table of deciding all these other solutions that are being built, how are they geared towards women, so that they're not biased and we're not left out in how we use technology. How do we close the digital gender divide? Is by being on the table. And the most interesting fact is the person who actually birthed information technology or software engineering as we know it is a woman, Ada Lovelace. So if the mother of technology, if the founder rather of technology as we know it is a woman, how can we today be challenged to say, right, that women are not participating? So it is in our nature, and we have to create these opportunities for ourselves if they're not handed to us. And that is what I'm doing.
Yeah, Irene, like you mentioned that, women should be on the table taking decisions. So it is a massive topic for discussion, right? And while it should not really be a topic, women on boards are massively underrepresented around the world. And there is a conscious effort, to balance this, but it isn't just about a seat on the table, right? What have your experiences been like, and how this can be changed, getting more women groomed to be on board?
So my experience has been, like a lot of women experiences, where there's still not enough being done, but the opportunity lies in all these new disruptive industries that we're seeing emerging. And, yes, as much as we're seeing effort being done in the traditional legacy organizations to bring women on board, what are we proactively and intentionally doing in these new emerging cooperations and new emerging vehicles and sectors, so that from day one, as they're emerging, we have women integrated in the platforms and in the systems and in the organizations. That is what I am excited to see, and I think it is happening. It is not happening at a large scale, but we will see more women. I am so passionate, when I get very excited when I see women going out there, building SMEs, building solutions, building products, it's happening, but the biggest challenge today is how do we support them so that they can scale and become sustainable, because there's not enough capacity, in terms of technical capacity support. So we need to create more mentorship programs. We need to create more, we need to build more champions, for women companies and women organizations and women-led initiatives. We need to fund these organizations. We need to fund these women. So it is from the bottom up, it is happening. So now we need to ignite a movement, of resource mobilization and capacity building that will come and meet all this bottom-up approach that is happening so that it can be sustainable.
Yeah, correct, Irene. In fact, women supporting women is the only way forward, right, for us to progress towards some sort of gender equity. And in fact, TWA is such an amazing initiative for knowledge sharing and mentoring for women and girls. And obviously, you've been leading TWA. And can you walk us through like some of the work that TWA does, and how do you measure impact when it comes to, taking some kind of decision and then furthering more women empowerment?
Yes. So TWA is, like you said, a networking and mentorship platform that we build for women to connect globally, to support each other, to network, to share value, to sell products and services to each other, to mentor, and to create a shared value. And for us, it's very exciting because, one of the things that drove the launch of TWA is the fact that, A, the digital gender divide is growing. There's not enough women adopting technology. But one of the things that research has determined is how one of the key things that will drive women into technology adoption is relevance. So how do we then build a platform that is so relevant to women that they automatically, adopt it? And TWA was designed with women empowerment in mind from, our needs. Yes, there are some women who are, accessing digital platforms, but how are those interactions creating value for them? So what do women need? Women need mentorship. Women need capacity. Women need champions. Where are they going to get this? Through a network of other women. Yeah. So TWA was built with that in mind. Women need deals. We need to start thinking about deals. And deals are all these different economic opportunities that will help us access the resources that we need. We don't talk about deals enough. So on TWA, you will find amazing tools and resources for personal development and professional development. You will be able to mentor other women and also access mentorship. You can access the marketplace and sell your products or services. You can put your deals on the deal room and also access deals. And we're going to include amazing tools as well to allow for women to build sustainable communities, because we are such great mobilizers. We thrive in communities. So TWA has amazing group mobilization and community tools that allow for women to participate in as many communities as possible and thrive and share value and extract value. So it's such an exciting platform. And I'm so happy to see that, women from around the world are, adopting it and are using it, but we need to do more. And I'm hoping, in the next 2 years, we'll be able to get to, 10 million users across the world, because the platform is as useful as, women using the platform. So I'm excited to talk about it, and I hope you will use it. You will launch it in India, so that we can have women in India networking and partnering with women in Africa and all over the world.
Yeah, Irene, that's a brilliant idea. In fact, I should catch up with you separately. We should come up with something more exciting for women out there in Africa and India as well. In fact, I was looking at the smile that you had on your face while you were giving the brief about what TWA does. I can see that kind of exciting platform it is, and every woman should be there to learn a lot of things and, get the benefits out of being there on the platform. So Irene, continuing to that, following on my previous question, not only are you sharing knowledge and mentoring women and girls? You are further providing them a platform to empower many more way of entrepreneurship, right? Adenium Labs, can you tell us more about some ventures that you are mentoring under Adenium Labs, and what are the interesting areas in which you are seeing entrepreneurship being taken up, and how has it changed over the past few years, being in the ecosystem for more than a decade and a half?
Amazing. So I co-founded Adenium Labs, which is a tech venture building studio for Africa. And it actually was a necessity for me, because when I wanted to build a platform for women in technology, I had no idea where to start. It was such a challenge to find the right tech people. I had no clue how to build technology solutions, so then I figured, okay, where do one go, when you have a brilliant solution where you can get all the resources that you need to bring your idea to life, and also access the right support system where you can launch and have a scalable, sustainable business. So that is how Adenium Labs was built. I partnered with two people who were also on the same mission, and we said, let's create a space where we build technology for innovators across Africa. And we have a number. We want to build 300 companies in the next 5 years that are tech-based and impact-driven. And when you come to the lab, you get everything from, a tech team to build your solution, to technical support, to mentorship, to, funding, to, tapping into our shared economy model where you are able to scale and grow sustainably quicker. So you get that corporate support from day one, even though you are a startup. And in the last year and a half, because we launched in 2020, last year in January, we have built 15 amazing startups, and we're in 7 markets, headquartered here in Kenya. We are also in Nigeria, Tanzania, Zambia, South Africa, Swaziland, and the UK, and we're expanding that because our model is based on scale. And we have a health tech startup, agri-tech, SME tech, women tech, media tech. I mean, the sky is really the limit. And because we say we are very impact driven, we want to incubate companies that are impact focused. So if you look at the entire SDG goals, we want to have startups addressing most of those challenges. And we're hoping, we will also expand into energy and environment, and you name it, we should have it in-house. And we're seeing a lot of excitement around fintech. Yeah, so a lot of companies are exploring and tapping into fintech, and it's understandably because access to finance is one of the biggest challenges here in Africa. A lot of women and young people are excluded from access to finance, right? So a lot of fintech companies, agri-tech as well is an exciting space. A lot of startups are exploring that. Again, agriculture is the backbone to a lot of African countries' economies, and it's quite amazing. I mean, we also have some startups that are exploring, immersive technologies, right? And these are all concepts that are still foreign. We are very intentional in ensuring that Adenium Labs is a smart tech lab. So we're very intentional in making sure that we have in-house capabilities, and we also push for the adoption of artificial intelligence in Africa and blockchain technology in Africa. So we launched 2 centers of excellences, AICE, the AI Center of Excellence, and ABC, the Africa Blockchain Centers, are also a part of Adenium Labs. And recently, this weekend actually, during the Cardano Summit, Cardano is a leading blockchain company that has Adacoin, for those people who understand and are interested in cryptocurrency. And Adacoin is one of the top 5 crypto coins in the world. So the company that founded the commercial arm of Cardano partnered with Adenium Labs to, roll out blockchain adoption in Africa and support startups that, will build on the Cardano blockchain. So it's such exciting times, and I'm just hoping to see, more and more young people, more women, which is my personal agenda, join Adenium Labs and bring in their ideas. We build their ideas. We also train business leaders, because yes, as we're building capacity, we also need to make sure that there's a market demand for all the things that we're doing. So we build capacity. We're very heavy on training. We train AI engineers and data scientists. We train blockchain developers. We train digitization and all of that. But we also train business leaders and policymakers and regulators to make sure that they understand and they also are well positioned to adopt, because we cannot talk about the fourth industrial revolution without being prepared. So yeah, exciting times. Please join Adenium Labs. Find us across social media, in our digital platforms, and let's get rolling.
Wow, Irene, that was a lot. Like, you've been into a lot of roles, and you're there leading all the bits and pieces, like everything about entrepreneurship, and giving some kind of hand holding to the entrepreneurs there. So in fact, good to see the kind of new technologies that are shaping up. Like, if you see worldwide, AI, blockchain, it is something which is a massive, the future of tomorrow. And good to see that you're supporting entrepreneurs in those areas as well. And yeah, so Irene, thank you so much for your time, for the interview, for joining me for the awesome show. I hope your words, your remarks be like inspiring for all the women entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs there who are listening to this. Thank you so much for your time, Irene. Okay.
No, it's been awesome. So thank you.
Thank you.